僕は喧嘩は圧倒して勝ちます。
What's going on, you guys? So, the pound for pound list. I don't ever do these type of videos where I give my thoughts on the current pound for pound rankings, but for some reason I feel like I should do it for this particular update, right? This new update that we got from the pound for pound list from Ring Magazine. Now, Ring Magazine, I don't think they updated theirs recently. The last time they updated was June 4th. So, Devin Haney and his results of his fight with Kambosos has not been updated yet. But we will come back to Ring Magazine in a second. But ESPN has got their updated pound for pound list. And as we can see here, they got their top 10. And there's been some controversy. You know, every time the pound for pound list comes out, boxing fans, you know, it's really a subjective thing. Fans have their own criteria as to why, you know, X fighter is on the list, et cetera, et cetera. But my criteria is a little bit more traditional, what is originally supposed to be. Does that guy fighter style translate to different weight classes? Hence, moving up in weight, right? Fighting guys in different weight classes. And if you've been consistently doing the same thing you've been doing, well, then you're a pound for pound guy in my book, right? But nowadays, things is a little bit different. Things is a little bit different nowadays. Fans got their favorite fighters on there. Some guys never moved up in weight once. Other guys may have collected some belts in one particular weight class. You know, one guy may have beat this guy, and you know, so fans have their own subjective reasons why they got these guys on the list. But I'm gonna give you my thoughts on this current list right here for ESPN. Devin Haney is now number 10. And I think Devin Haney definitely belongs on the list. Even though I'm pretty strict on the criteria of moving up in weight, he got all the belts. So it'd be kind of hard not to put the guy, right? The guy on the pound for pound list, right? So if you're a guy that collected all the damn belts, I think you should be considered to be on the pound for pound list. And ESPN considered putting Devin Haney on the pound for pound list. Now, one may say ESPN tends to put their guys on a list, you know, whatever, right? But if you look at Terrence Bud Crawford, he's still number 1. He's not an ESPN fighter anymore. So, yeah. Then we got number 9 at Shakur Stevenson. Rightfully so. He's a multi-divisional champion. He's unified now at junior lightweight. So, yeah. Shakur Stevenson, number 9. I think that's about right. You know, I think he deserves to be on the list. He's a proven young fighter in the sport of boxing. He's moved up weight class. He likely will be moving up to another weight class, probably here within the next couple of fights, right? Then there's Dimitri Bivol, number 8. Dimitri Bivol, number 8. This is a tricky one because even though he beat Canelo Alvarez in a performance of a lifetime, I'm not sure if he's a pound for pound guy. I don't know. He beat Joe Smith Jr., who's about to be fighting Arthur Beterbiev, right, in a unification fight. Dimitri Bivol was undefeated at light heavyweight. He beat everybody he's faced. He fought some pretty solid guys, right? Should he be number 8? I mean, maybe. You know, I'll let you guys decide on that one. I don't know. Bivol, I have no problem with him being on the list, considering what he's done. You know what I'm saying? But it's hard to say. You know what I'm saying? Because Canelo was a smaller guy, right? Canelo was a smaller man. Even though it was so much in beating Canelo Alvarez. There's so much that comes with facing and getting the opportunity to even face Canelo Alvarez. But he was a naturally smaller guy. So I have no problem with Dimitri Bivol being on the list. But yeah, I don't know. Then we got number 7, Vasily Lomachenko. Loma is one of my favorite boxers. We haven't seen him in a while. He's over there in Ukraine doing his thing. allegedly, right? I'm not quite sure if he's really over there or not, but from what the pictures showed us, he looks like he's there. And yeah, Vasily Lomachenko, bad dude. You know what I'm saying? Bad dude, but I don't think he should be on this list anymore. I don't think he should be on this list no more. If you go take off Josh Taylor, if you ain't gonna have Josh Taylor on the list, you really can't have Lomachenko on the list because Josh Taylor is undisputed, right? Even though many people felt that Josh Taylor arguably lost against Jack Catterall, I don't know about Lomachenko, right? I don't know about Lomachenko. Now, a lot of people will say Loma don't belong on the list at all. I don't really think he belongs on there either. Not over Jermell Charlo. Okay? That's one guy we see on this list that's missing. Jermell Charlo. Where is he at? Where is he at? See, the ESPN people don't like dude. They don't like the way he be talking. And I guess this is the results. They don't say we ain't gonna put you on the pound for pound list. We ain't gonna acknowledge you as one of the best pound for pound fighters in the sport. That's basically what happened. Right? So yeah, Vasily Lomachenko, I'll replace him with Jermell Charlo, right? Sorry, Loma, you got 2 losses. We haven't seen you in a while. No, bro. You know, and I'm a big Loma fan too, but nah, man, there's other guys that's deserving to be on this list over Lomachenko. And I'm a fan, people. So yeah, I'm trying to be unbiased here. I'm trying to be unbiased. Nope. You got 2 losses, bro. Nah, man. You got to switch with Jermell Charlo. You know what I'm saying? Because even though he only got 1 loss, he avenged that loss, right? And then he became undisputed. So, yeah. And he did it in impressive fashion. I mean, Jermell Charlo's been impressive. Love him or hate him, right? You don't got to like the guy. But Jermell Charlo has been very impressive, and he deserves to be on this fucking list. Excuse my French. Then we got Alexander Usyk, all the way at number 6. Wow. How did ESPN drop Alexander Usyk so far down the list? Well, maybe I don't know why. You know, he beat Anthony Joshua. He's a former cruiserweight undisputed champion. He beat everybody there is to beat in that weight. Then moved up and beat AJ. You know, Usyk should be a little higher than this. I don't know. I think Usyk should be higher. Actually, how about this? Take Fury all the way off the list completely, right? Why is a bona fide heavyweight? See, I'll let Usyk slide because he's not a true heavyweight. He's a cruiserweight that transitioned to heavyweight. He's not naturally a heavyweight. Tyson Fury is the biggest of the biggest fighters in boxing, one of the biggest fighters on the planet. He should not be on anybody's pound for pound list. Better yet, no heavyweight should be on the pound for pound list. No heavyweight, let alone not the biggest heavyweight. I mean, come on. He had a 50-pound weight advantage over Deontay Wilder. I wonder if Wilder had a beat Fury, would they had to put Wilder on this list? Because that's pound for pound. Wilder was giving up 20 to 50 pounds over guys, right? Who else in boxing fighting dudes 20 to 50 pounds heavier than him? Nobody. So, yeah. Tyson Fury, he did his thing, right? But as far as in my criteria, no heavyweight should be allowed. None. None at all. Nope. Because heavyweights, that's a whole different thing. Then they got number 4 at Canelo Alvarez. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Canelo Alvarez, number 4. Well, I guess that's what happens when you take those risks, man. You know, he took that chance against Bivol and he got knocked down to 4. He went from number 1, number 2 to number 4, right? He was arguably number 1, right? Then he got knocked down all the way to number 4. And it's not like he got knocked out in the fight against Bivol. It was kind of a one-sided fight for the most part, but Canelo got knocked all the way down to number 4. But I think that's about right. I think that's about right. Right? I think that's about right, you know. Canelo Alvarez, I think a win over Gennady Golovkin probably will put him back in the top 3 once again, depending on the Errol Spence Terrence Crawford outcome. Because I think the winner of that fight will determine the number 1 fighter in boxing once that fight happens. But as of right now, Terrence Crawford's number 1. But Errol the Truth Big Fish Spence Jr., number 3. Errol Spence moved up the list quite a bit. He moved up the list quite a bit. And I think it's mostly due to his popularity. I think Errol Spence Jr. is one of those fighters that people just love. People love Errol Spence Jr. He's like the Pootie Tang of boxing. I wasn't bullshitting when I say that. He can go on social media and say a one-liner and crowd goes wild. You know what I'm saying? Errol Spence is one of those dudes that people just like. I'm not saying that's the only reason why he's so high, but I mean, let's be honest. We haven't seen much of Errol Spence Jr. prior to Yordenis Ugas, right? We haven't seen much. It was a wide spice of inactivity, and yet he stayed within the top 5, top 6 on the pound for pound list. Then a win over Ugas got him all the way at number 3. Now Ugas beat Manny Pacquiao, right? But the win for Errol Spence over Ugas boosted him up to number 3. So I have no problem with Errol Spence being number 3 pound for pound, right? I really have no problem with it. But out of everybody here, man, he's been pretty inactive. He's been pretty inactive. Guys like Canelo moved up in weight, Crawford moved up in weight, Inoue moved up in weight, Fury, he don't count, Usyk moved up in weight. So everybody in the top 5, if you take out Errol Spence, moved up in weight, except for Errol Spence. Actually, everybody on this list, except for Haney, Bivol, and Fury, moved up in weight. Everybody else is a weight jumper, right? So for me, it's tough to say, man, because I can't just put a guy that just took a big loss over a guy that just got a big win either. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of complicated. But Errol Spence Jr. is number 3. I have no problem with it. I'm not even going to question it, right? But some people may question it. How is he rated so high? Well, it's because he's Errol Spence Jr., man. That's why. Okay? That's just the best answer I can give. Then we got the monster, Inoue. Inoue is number 2 for beating Nonito Donaire. A lot of people is up in arms about this one. A lot of people is up in arms about Inoue being rated so highly from beating a 39-year-old Nonito Donaire. Me personally, I have no problem with the monster being rated high because I think he's a pound-for-pound fighter. Put him in another. Let's just say this. Use your imagination a bit. I understand nowadays in the social media age, the imagination is a thing of the past, right? But imagine if he was a guy that was a welterweight or a lightweight or a middleweight. How would he compete against those guys, right? With his skill set, with the skill set that he brings, with everything he brings as a fighter, right? Put him in the frame of a middleweight guy. He'll be a pretty tough, dominant dude. Inoue has really good punch placement, hella power, just a very well-rounded boxer, right? Now, a lot of fans may say, oh, well, he ain't fight nobody. He beat up on a lot of little dudes. I mean, he did fight some people, and he did beat up a lot of little dudes because he's a little dude. So, yeah, it's not his fault he's a 118, 120 pounder. It's not his fault, right? It's not his fault the way the universe made Inoue. But they got him rated at number 2. I wouldn't argue with people that may say he's too high, but I have no problem with him being where he's at. I think he should be in the top 5, if anything, right? He gotta be rated highly because he's been consistent. He showed a lot of different intent. I mean, I'm not going to go through the breakdown over Inoue. I'm not going to do it. Okay? He's the monster. He should be in the top 5. He should be in everybody's top 5. That's just my opinion. Hell of a fighter, etc., etc. And then we have Terrence Bud Kumite Crawford. Number 1. One of the oldest champions in boxing. One of the longest reigning champions in boxing. Been on a pound-for-pound list longer than any active fighter in boxing. Terrence Bud Crawford. His biggest gripe, though, is him being able to secure the bigger fights. That's been Bud's biggest knock. As consistently dominant as a fighter as you can see. No split decisions, no controversial decisions, just dominance. Clean fighter, a fighter that you can count on. Terrence Bud Crawford. Number 1 pound for pound. He's been one of the top pound for pound fighters for a long time now. A lot of the guys that Bud was coming up with, Bud has phasing out. A lot of these guys are starting to phase out or halfway out the door already. He's still here standing strong. Terrence Crawford's number 1. Now, that title will get put to test against Errol Spence Jr. when they fight. And whoever wins that fight will become the number 1. They will be having that number 1 headband on. But as of right now, Terrence Bud Crawford's number 1. Because he's on his way. If he beats Errol Spence Jr., he's undisputed in 2 weight classes. Then if he gets the Jermell Charlo fight, who knows what happened there, right? You never know what's going to happen in that type of fight. Jermell Charlo is a beast. We'll talk about that when that time comes. Crawford, that's something he's interested in. But first, we got to deal with Spence, So, yeah, Terrence Bud Crawford's number 1 pound for pound. I have absolutely no problem with that. But as consistently as dominant as a fighter we've seen, I mean, that's just what it is, right? I mean, if you got a problem with his resume, tell your favorite fighter to fight him, right? Because as far as I'm concerned, he fought everybody he really needed to fight up to this point. And now we just waiting on a big one between him and Errol Spence Jr. But let's check out Ring Magazine's list real quick. We ain't gonna make this one too long because they list be on some bullshit. Oh man, this was terrible. This one is terrible. ESPN's ain't too bad, but this one was pretty terrible. Let's see what we got here. Usyk is number 1. I ain't got no problem with that. Crawford number 2, no problem with that. Inoue number 3, Spence number 4, Estrada number 5. I'm not sure about that. He's the man in the division, but I don't know. Right? I don't know. And Crawford been on the list 370 weeks, longer than everybody. Loma been on there 312. So Loma been on here second longest than anybody. He's number 7 with the Ring Magazine. Beevel's number 8. Canelo got knocked all the way down to 6, man. That's crazy. Josh Taylor is number 9. Jermell Charlo number 10. Now, this is not updated as of now. They may update their list. They may update it. I'm not sure who they go bump, though. They may end up bumping. Nah, they're not gonna bump nobody. I'm thinking they may bump somebody to put Devin Haney on, but I don't really see them bumping any of these guys that they got on this list for Devin Haney. I don't see them doing that. Yeah, I don't see them doing that. So the junior bantamweight champion, Juan Francisco Estrada, 42-3-0, 28 knockouts. He's been on the list for quite a while. Really, you could replace him with probably Shakur. But he's been on here for that long, man. Somebody gonna have to knock him off, man. You know what I'm saying? Somebody gonna actually have to knock him down. You know what I'm saying? If you've been on the list for this long, they gotta really knock you down. You know what I'm saying? But hey, people have their own opinions on the pound for pound list. I don't think Josh Taylor. If this was my list for the ring, I'll replace him for Shakur. Maybe. Or I'll switch Bevel. No. I'll probably take Loma out. Since he lost. Man, it's hard to say, man. Honestly, with this pound for pound list, you guys. Because a few guys got losses on here. Taylor arguably lost. Charlo got a loss. So, I mean, really, it don't really matter about the losses. I don't know, man. I guess this is just Ring Magazine's list, man. I don't know, but I kind of more agree with ESPN's. I might switch some names around here and there. I may take some guys out and replace them with other guys like Tyson Fury. I'll probably take Loma out too. Other than that, man, everybody have their own opinion on the pound for pound list. People have their own criterias, like I said, and that's just my list, man. That's just what I got. I got Blood at number 1. Spence probably at 2. Maybe Inoue. Depends. Spence at number 2. Inoue at number 3. Because I got Spence at 2 because him and Crawford go fight for that number 1 headband. So, yeah, I got Spence 2. I got Spence 2. Inoue 3. A little bit biased there, though. You know what I'm saying? I'm a big fan of the Monster, too. I like the Big Fish, too, man. Actually, there's really nobody on this list I don't like. Maybe Tyson Fury, but I let bygones be bygones. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, nobody on this list I really dislike. It's hard to say. You know what? I'll be here all day, you guys. You know what? I'll put Spence over Naoya Inoue just because him and Crawford are going to be fighting for that number 1 headband. Like, subscribe, holla at your boy. Peace out.